Here the last few weeks, I have brought a couple of challenges to you, and I want to continue in that vein today. And we have been talking about three words: passion for the Lord, urgency in sharing the gospel, and then commitment to this community and commitment to Christ. And the more I think about those three terms, passion, urgency, and commitment, they're not all on the same level. I think the passion has to come first. It's out of our passion for God that the urgency to share the gospel flows, and it's out of our passion that is where our commitment to this community comes from. And without passion, we're just trying to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. Passion will lead to those other things. And so today I want to talk a bit to you about the urgency of the gospel, and I want to ask you this question: who is the last person that you shared the gospel with? I want you to think about when it was, and I want you to think about exactly who it was. And if my guess is right for our church, probably, 75, 80%, you might not be able to think of who that is. You might not be able to think of that last person that you openly and clearly shared the gospel with them. So let me share with you a couple of thoughts today. And if you can remember who that is, fantastic. But maybe you can't remember the last time you opened your mouth and let somebody else know about your commitment to Christ and how it has changed your life. So my daughter shared with me a story last weekend. She was going over here to the Phoenix, and so she pulled up in her car, got out, and as she was walking across the street to the Phoenix, my daughter's 21 years old, and here a young man walked up right beside her and said, "You are the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." Okay. Now, why I agree with him, if I'd have been there, I probably would have throttled him, right? And so he said to her, my daughter did not know who this person was, "Will you go out with me?" My daughter, I trained her well. She said no. But they kept talking. He kept pressing her. "Hey, do you have a boyfriend?" And, he was very, very bold. And finally, he took my daughter's phone, put his name and his phone number in her phone, gave it back and said, "Call me sometime," and walked away. Wow. Almost makes me wish I was single again. I would try something like that, I was never that bold. I couldn't imagine being that bold. But I want you to think about this. He saw something beautiful, and his boldness just kicked in. So I'm not going to put guilt on you this morning and say, "Oh, you need to be sharing the gospel, become urgent about that," because if you try to do that out of guilt, it won't last very long. Where it starts is with passion. That if we are overcome by the beauty of Jesus in our own lives, we can't help but share that. So I posted to Facebook this morning a video by Penn Jillette, and he is half of the Penn and Teller duo, the magicians, comedians that are in Vegas. Honestly, I don't really keep up with them, but this one video caught my attention because Penn Jillette is an avowed atheist. He's very public about that. It's a 6-minute video. It's worth your time to watch. Somebody very gently and respectfully gave him a Bible. It touched him. And he said this at the end of his video, and that's why I want you to watch it, okay? He said this. He said, "If I really believed in Jesus, and if I really believed there was a heaven and hell, how much would I have to hate somebody not to share that news with them?" Isn't that amazing? That's coming from the lips of an atheist. If I really believe this is true, how much would I have to hate somebody not to share that good news with them? So my challenge to you this morning as you think about sharing the gospel, do you really believe it? And if you do you really love other people enough to share that news with them? Not a formula, not a presentation. I believe the best sharing of the gospel is done within relationship as you tell people how beautiful Jesus truly is to you.